don't have happy news today. In fact, I'm sad. I've been crying for 4 hours, and now I'm just angry. They killed Charlie Kirk today. He was an amazing man. Erica, my condolences go out to you and your 2 kids. I watched Charlie do Turning Point, and he was just an incredible human being. And this smells like Butler, Pennsylvania. He was shot with a high caliber rifle in the neck. There is some old Canadian man that claims that he did it and that he would do it again. Regardless, this is unacceptable. We've had a horrible week. I'm going to get out of the winds for a second so that you can hear me. With the young lady that was stabbed in the neck by this black thug that's been in jail 16 times. Now they're talking about giving him life in jail, and that is unacceptable to the American public. We should hold the judge and the woke DA prosecutors liable. They need to go to jail and prison themselves for letting the scumbag out on the street, period. In D.C., we have 15 judges challenging Trump. Here's what I learned. 5 of the judges were not even born in the United States. The problem with our people in Congress going against us, Ilhan Omar, all these other ones, we need to make it where judges and politicians, congressmen, senators, and anybody, we cannot have foreign-born people, people that are not naturally born in the United States to represent us in any sort of way. We cannot have foreign-born judges because they're attacking our president. This is a turning point for America. This is a call to action for Charlie Kirk, for his family. This is throwing gas on a fire that will ignite. And you just watch, this will ignite a major war between our universities. Charlie was somebody that everybody looked up to and did amazing events in every single state. And did it eloquently and elegantly. And as far as what has happened, if it was a Canadian or some spineless turd like that, well, I can believe it. Keep your wits about you. And as far as what I'm doing up here in South Dakota, I'm creating Trump Future City up here. And I think I'm going to get a lot more people up here. Do you feel safe in North Carolina or South Carolina today? Do you feel safe in D.C.? I don't. Trump's got the guards there. It smells like I said, it smells like a pet store, but the part that raises rodents and rats. That's all it is. It's disgusting. And we need to apprehend all these people, throw them in jail, and it's the time to use gravity and a rope. And I don't like politics. I can't stand it lately. And lately, our path to peace has become Benjamin Netanyahu's war plan. Benjamin Netanyahu is ruining America. We voted on a pathway to peace. And we're letting Benjamin Netanyahu bomb Sudan. He bombed Sudan yesterday. In fact, I could give you some figures. We're not playing the good guys. And as such, this political game between Israel and America, it's dividing MAGA. And I think they just took out our youngest contender. This is like a Martin Luther King RFK moment. Charlie Kirk was a future president of the United States. Know that. And his grasp and his reach to young America was probably greater than anybody else. This was definitely an assassination, and this was definitely probably designed by the liberals or the Democrats. Undoubtedly, this was done by a pro. We can hear Canadians taking credit, but whoever did this had experience. Unlike the kid in Butler who took several shots and missed, this was one shot, and it was a death shot. And I do not want him to be forgotten. I'm asking for everybody that ever loved Charlie to keep his mission going alive. We need to do it a little differently because somebody is trying to instigate a civil war. And I want you students to know that. This is divide and conquer. And in my opinion, what they're doing is they are creating a racial war against white people and black people, pure and simple. And it's taking a hold. Just look at the stabbing. Poor Ukrainian woman. This is a hate crime. He even said that he hoped the white girl would die. I'm saying it more politely than he said it. This is a race crime. Now they're asking, listen to this, they're asking to give him life in jail to some guy that's been in jail for 16 times, as if we want to pay for his food. Do you want to pay for this guy's food, this piece of trash? No. You see, I want to grow the hemp rope that goes around his neck. And just like the old days of Wild Bill Hickok and Seth Bullock, I think we need law and order again in the United States. And I think a good public demonstration of gravity and a rope is in order for every single offender. I'm speaking for America here now. We don't want any of these murderers back on the street. They all need to be dealt with, because you're wasting our tax dollars and then you're giving them the opportunity to parole. And we see what that gets us. It gets us murdered. I love Charlie Kirk. You are finally seeing me after 4 hours of crying. I'm going to recommend that you do not watch the video. And I would not have if somebody did not send it to me. It's horrific. It's un-American. And we need to make some stuff public. We do not need to make, let's say if people are executed for heinous crimes, instead of a firing squad, one bullet in the gut. I'm telling you, there needs to be pain retribution. And what is going on right now, and our lax woke judges from other countries are liberating the criminals to attack the citizens. This must be stopped. We need to fire immediately every single congressman, especially that Indian schmuck up there that's challenged Trump. And we've got to take a stand. They can say do it while voting. We've already proved the last election was stolen. Now I'm going to let you see what these cowboys do up here. We're going to have a shootout here in Deadwood. And it's how they did it back in the day. Well, you realize on that subway, if somebody was armed, maybe something could have happened. But what I saw were 4 black people that stood by and watched it and let it happen, proving to me that the black community is actually okay with this. And they formed a racial war. Well, not everybody, but the 4 in there were unified, weren't they? That makes me sick. If you want to feel safe, you come here to Deadwood, South Dakota, and we'll deal with you. Now I want you to see something.
Wow, game's over. How about that?
There's some of my friends.
My 4-7s like to have a word with you. I'm making Deacon, let's just cheating. 4-7s, huh? Yeah, 4-7s. There ain't no way I'm about to be that lucky. You call me the cheat. You're the cheat. Johnny, you got a problem. I know it's all. You're calling me out. I'm gay. You ready to beat your mate? Johnny, this ain't no summer game. You get my winning instrument and see you fit for a wood go. Charlie, don't be such a hurt to die. Come on, Johnny, don't walk pistol, Dixie. Pull that pistol of yours. Tell you what, Chuck. You need my money or my life? Now what tarnation are you urchins doing? You shot out my fancy new window that I shipped in all the way from Cheyenne, hit Mr. Ludwig here in the leg. Put an end to this ruckus right now. Butt out of this, Wertheimer. I'm not quitting until I get my money from that bummer. Bummer, huh? Yeah. You see me get back this, you stinking polecat. If you can hit anything. Oh. Wait. What do you mean, wait? I'm out. Did I get you? How about now? Nothing. Dang it. Doesn't look like either one of us could anyway, things. He's got old Ludwig, though.
Yeah, and where's our window?
You got that fancy window of his, too.
Charlie, not only do you want us fated to die on this day.
I tell you what, let's keep it that way. Let's head on down to the man's play poker to our separate customers, huh?
All right, let's keep that vodka on the shelf.
After all is said and done, these two agents.
I hope you guys are getting the picture. We need to do that again today. The cowboy way. Same thing with the border. What's wrong with bullets? These people are ridiculous. We got California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. They let our border down. What did they do? They sacrificed our general welfare, our peace and tranquility and security. That's what they did. And they defied the Constitution. We have a general welfare clause. We have peace and tranquility. How are you supposed to have peace and tranquility when you let them in to infiltrate and take over? It is time for us to take a stand in America. We have to get our country back. Law and order, you want it? I suggest step one, you get rid of all the foreign judges that are attacking our president and us from the inside out. Law and order, I suggest you get rid of every congressman that is working for another country. That would be the country they were born in. Let's get this straight. We can't have Trojan horses in the United States. They just took out our most influential young man, Charlie Kirk. He only got to live to be 30, 31. That doesn't work for me. And I hope it doesn't work for you either. So this is beautiful South Dakota. We had the most beautiful governor in our nation. That would be Kristi Noem. She was my pick for vice president. She'd have been way better than Vance, because I think Vance was paid off by the Indian government. Don't forget, he has an Indian wife. And Vivek Ramaswamy's mom and her mom, well, their dad runs the WEF Bank of China with Soros. So if Trump dies, we've been taken over from the inside. They paid a $300 million bribe basically to take their position. I'd like for the people of America to understand. Kamala Harris was not black. She was from India. She was white and Jewish and German. That's why her husband was a Jew, is a Jew, Doug Emhoff. He was running us. He was running us with BlackRock, and that's why we were going crazy with war. BlackRock was kicked out of Texas recently, so they wouldn't have a monopoly. At the same time, they're in the Panama Canal and in Haiti. They're a war weapon. We need to dismantle and disintegrate the parasite of basically the Mossad. This all goes back to Israel. This all goes back to their crimes. If you don't know it, pay attention. You're seeing it unfold before your eyes. Did you know that? I just walked up the steps that the sheriff used to walk down as they would go down there and get into a gunfight. All these homes behind me were Sears and Roebuck's kits from the 1800s, and they're still standing. We can do better. And we got to do better. Charlie Kirk, I love you. We all love you. And you're a good man. A great American. And I pray that we're going to have justice, because we need justice. This is just so shocking to me. I just want you all to know that. Because Charlie and I do about the same stuff, except my demographics are older than his. And so I need to start paying attention to more positive things for us. You see those hills back there behind me and how pretty they are? Well, you're looking at Trump Future City. You'll be able to go to TrumpFutureCity.com here in a second when we get it set up. I got a beautiful 730-acre parcel behind me with a large cave. But guess what? It is only going to be allowed by people that are hardcore patriots. Period. People are asking me, is this a 15-minute city? What kind of city is it? Well, it's my city. Okay? And if you're a veteran, if you're a Harley-Davidson rider that's a doctor, if you're a grandparent and you just got kids that you need to keep safe, I don't feel safe anymore. even in Texas. I look around, I go to Costco, I think I'm in India. I remember when high schools were maybe where the whites were a majority. Today in Dallas, Texas, let's say W.T. White High School, 90% Latino, and at the 5% is white and black. And that's because of the open door policy, and within the next 20 years, that will change, and we'll see an Indian community. And I'd be fine for that, but last I checked, I didn't go and serve for India. Neither did you. It's the Constitution of the United States and people that bleed red, white, and blue for you and I, and that's what we're about. And when we have so many foreigners in here, we can't open the door for a lady. We can't be polite. We can't be respectful because we don't know who we're talking to. We've let too many people into this country, and we don't need to. If you study math, it only took 73 Jews 350 years to create 2 million people before they had the Exodus. And that's Exodus in the Bible. You can read about it, and the math according to Google is true. I think it's malarkey, but guess who controls that as well? I saw Trump sitting next to and between Melania, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates. I would like to know honestly how that makes you feel. Do you feel that we are becoming politics as usual? And since the visit of Benjamin Netanyahu, we went from a pathway of peace to a pathway of war. So far on this pathway of peace, we've blown up Lebanon. We've helped murder the president of Iran. We just bombed Qatar. We're letting them hit Yemen because we have allies. And if you're a Christian and you think the words are, if you don't support Israel, that we'll be damned, you've been brainwashed by Israel. Or not Israel, Zionists. And one Zionist in particular, Benjamin Netanyahu, is getting all the Jews, all the good Jews, killed. And that's a fact. He's evil. He's extorted $5.3 billion from the Israeli government and is under investigation. He blew up their quarters just like Building 7 because that's what they do. Silverstein blew up the Twin Towers, blew up Building 7. Oklahoma City building was basically blown up by Clinton so that he could hide the Whitewater investigation files. Did you know that? So we're letting our politicians get away with murder, especially if they're going to blow up stuff that relates to keeping them free so that they can continue their crimes. And that seems to be the American way since 9/11. I would say we took a fall at Waco, Texas. And you know how we knew that it wasn't Timothy McVeigh? A lot of you don't know this. You can read my book, The Emperor Wears New Clothes, available at Amazon. We know this because the United States Geological Survey has seismograph. An OU seismograph did not pick up a homemade bomb. It picked up two 4,000 class bomb explosions from the two 4,000 pound bombs that were in the basement. Clinton messed up, and as a result, children died. Now we're going to let Hillary continue to do what she does. Trump, I remember you saying something, well, if it was my way, she'd be in jail. Well, get the lead out of your ass. What is taking you so damn long? Because we've had it. We need some accountability. Charlie Kirk needs some accountability. I hope you're not going to give the American public some sort of weak thing. Now, Christy, another thing I'll let you know, Christy, don't apprehend MS-13 and these people. Don't send them a free plane ride ticket back home because I don't want to pay for it. What part of execution do you not understand? MS-13, if we catch any illegal alien in the United States of America with fentanyl, you need to be publicly executed and hung by a rope. As far as the person that did this to Charlie Kirk, I have already grown the rope personally for this individual to experience gravity. I'm in Deadwood, South Dakota. If the people of South Dakota need me to be your governor or congressman, that's up to you. As you know, you kind of asked me last time. It's not something I want to do, but the will of the people is being ignored by Dusty Johnson, your candidate. He didn't listen to one of the 5 bills that were voted on by the public. In fact, voted the opposite for every single thing you could think of. So the state of South Dakota, we're a lame duck without our champion, Kristi Noem. And isn't it funny how Trump gets the lady to do the man's job, and she's doing a man's job because she's got bigger balls than everybody in the cabinet. I think Doug Bergman's a straight-out crook, criminal, and so is Dusty Johnson. I'm an oil man. I'm the president of Drill Baby Drill. The CO2 pipeline is nothing but a racket so that they can steal our land from the American public. So they're stealing our land, they're stealing our minerals, they're sending it overseas to Israel every chance they get. Why do you think we're going after Venezuela now? Because in the next couple of months, you're going to see a unification of 2 billion Muslims to go against the Zionists. And did you know that the books that the Nazis were burning back in the day were all transgender books? You see, they went through this, and now we're going through it, so you get a taste of how they divide and conquer, and the first thing they do is they question God. They say God did a bad job, this is blasphemy. And then they want to pretend somehow that they have God backing them when they don't. You need to study the Bible. If you're ignorant and you think you need to pass and get behind Netanyahu, then you don't understand the Bible or Christianity at all. The Old Testament is a testament of good leaders and bad leaders, and every time Israel had a bad leader and strayed from God, they lost a war. They picked a leader because he was tall. That wasn't the right reason. They lost it all. Zedekiah, like I said, was prideful. He boasted. He did things he wasn't supposed to do. Nebuchadnezzar came out of Persia, and he killed all of his sons, gouged his eyes out, and put them underneath the table. So if you think that the Jews always win, think again. Read the book from beginning to end and understand that every time that they have a leader that is not following the Pentateuch, as true Jews do, they are destroyed. These are Zionists. They are not real Jews. They are German Ashkenazis, period. There were 303 Jews that defected from the north in 586 BC after the book of Esther. They know nothing about Jewish culture. They are not Semitic people. They speak, if anything, Russian, English, European languages. As far as their Yiddish, it is also not Semitic. The Semitic people are, in fact, the Palestinians. And in fact, they bought 23andMe and Ancestry.com because they don't want you and me to know that we're helping kill the real Jews. Now, my name is Chris Sanders, and I'd like it if you could one day maybe visit Israel. That's if it doesn't get blown to kingdom come by a Zionist Nazi regime. A Zionist Ashkenazi regime. The word Nazi is in there for a reason. You're seeing the genocide of Palestinian people. You're seeing the genocide of people from Lebanon, from Turkey, from Iran. The world knows it. And the reason why you're blindfolded is because George Soros and his media own every single company. He bid on me up here in South Dakota on 2 radio stations. I had all the money. I bid 125, 150%, somehow through USAID, 200%, and he stole every deal I had. I'm asking for the government, if they're real, to give me those stations, because right now they're run by Soros and they give the locations of ICE agents. They'll say it in Spanish or another language, and this is basically defying the Constitution and the safety of our law enforcement. And if you don't think that's bad, look what happened today. We do not know what they're saying on these apprehended radio stations. Who is this Canadian man that shot Charlie Kirk that said he would do it again? We're seeing that there is no subject. We're seeing that there is a subject. And you can bet your bottom dollar that if it's a transsexual, just like in Butler, we're never going to know the truth, because they want to protect the 1% of the weakest of men and then blame us for disintegrating our own culture when they're not our culture. There are people that have defied God, and if you defy God, you're never going to make it or be happy with yourself ever, and that's what we're looking at. So again, I'm just extremely upset. Today, a wonderful American, a father, a husband, was murdered, was assassinated. And if we don't learn everything, if they do not make a public hanging, as far as for the Ukrainian girl, did you see what happened to the guy that was in the white man that was in the laundry machine mart that was stabbed by 2 black individuals there? Well, I saw it. Did you see the Ukrainian lady that had her neck slit by a guy that was a black man with dreadlocks that's been in jail 16 times? I've seen it. Are you hearing how they want to give him life? In other words, they want us to pay for his food and lodging so he can brag about what he did to Whitey while he's in there again. No, sir, no, ma'am. I've had enough, and I hope you have too. This guy needs to pay for his actions publicly so people will know if you do this, this will happen to you. Now, if all these other governments and states are too chicken, well, bring back the Old West. I need a strong governor out there in the state of New Mexico. Bring back Lincoln, New Mexico, where Billy the Kid was, and bring back hanging. Bring back public hanging. And if you want a firing squad, don't give them a lot and make it easy. Let them feel about their mistakes before they check into hell, because that's exactly where they're going. My name is Chris Sanders. I am mad beyond belief, and I'm going to pray that I can calm down. And I want you to reach out to me. I want you to make sure that your family is safe. If they're living in a scumbag city, I want you to reconsider moving out in the country. I want you to know the safest states that I've discovered in the United States have been states like Oklahoma, Kansas, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, parts of New Mexico, everywhere except Albuquerque, which is our cesspool of the state of New Mexico, period. And you need to go in there and apprehend every illegal alien. Do it quickly. American-made bullets, owned by Brock Pierce, Chris Sanders, Joby Weeks, and Hamza Wadiri. We are at your service. We're going to give you free bullets so that you can get to work, because that's what we want you to do, period. And as far as everything else, come visit me out here in South Dakota. The Colonel's going to be making some changes. My new show is going to be about MAHA, Making America Healthy Again. I'm going to be talking about the probiotics, ways in which I can clean our soil. I'm pretty tired of all the negativity, even the stuff that I have to tell you. If you don't think it brings me down, it does. It's like I'll investigate all this news for us, and it's depressing. And then I see how Christians are attacked, or good people are attacked, and we're not defended. And it breaks my heart. I see how we have 15 judges in New York, and I analyze it and see 5 of them were born in other countries. I see how we have congressmen that are born in other countries, and the common denominator is that they're all our worst enemies. And somehow these judges think, these foreign-born judges, that they're more important than the executive branch, and they're proving it. Because they're getting away with murder, and then they're letting murderers back out. Because I guess it's okay to kill a white guy. I guess it's okay to kill a white Ukrainian lady. Because that's what you're telling us specifically. And I'm going to call all of you out. That is what every single one of you is telling us when you talk about giving them life. That is a slap on the hand so he can brag to everybody else in prison so that they will continue to do this. He needs to be publicly executed for capital punishment, and this is the only answer and solution that America is going to accept. I've already seen thousands of comments. As far as the person that murdered Charlie Kirk, well, please don't tell us that you're going to give this person life, because the death penalty is needed for this. This is a hate, political motivated crime, just like the laundromat in New York, just like in the Carolinas with the murder on the public transportation system. I'm a father myself. I don't feel safe with my kids going to these cities, and I think you stand there with me. Do you feel safe? I mean, that's why I'm out here, and that's why I'm creating this Trump Future City. It's so that we have a safe place to go to. So reach out to me. You can reach out to sandersoilandgas@gmail.com, sustainableangels@gmail.com. Adam Good also is putting stuff down here. If you want to move out here, again, you have to be an American and bleed red, white, and blue. You have to look out for your neighbors. We believe in guns, we believe in protection, but we need a place where we can be safe. And I'm going to provide it for us, because we've had enough. I'm going to pray for Charlie Kirk. I hope you pray for me. Hope you pray for Erica. I hope she has the strength to get through this. I am so sad. And we're going to do what we can do. But we're being attacked. And even our own legislators are taking the power away from real cops, real enforcement, so that we can't even do our jobs anymore. It seems like even all my cop friends have apprehended and arrested people only to watch woke judges let them go and then take their pensions and fire them for doing their jobs. This has to stop, America. Look at the streets. We're a zombie land because of China. President Trump says Xi Jinping's his best friend and he likes him. And that's the same guy that's flooding our streets full of fentanyl. I want you to think about that. We're calling Putin a bad guy. Putin's not done anything to me. Xi Jinping has. I think this is completely backwards. Xi Jinping's not a Christian either. Putin is. I think Europe's only solution is the unification of Russia and the United States to save Europe, or Europe is toast. NATO is basically communism, and so is the EU. We need to identify every single Democrat that's in office today as a communist, a socialist, working for China and the enemy, because China is the enemy of the United States of America, period. So again, Trump, please examine that. China is our biggest enemy, and Netanyahu leading Israel is enemy number 2. And he's kicking off a war that we can't tackle. And isn't it funny how when the Muslims and the Jews squabble it out every time, they ask the Christians to help bail them out? Well, that's because we're built on a rock, and that rock is Jesus Christ, and we know what love is. Because no greater love is someone that died so that our sins could be forgiven. Every other culture looks up into the sky and they say, Lord, do you understand me? Or as God looks at us and says, do I understand you? I gave you my only son so that you could be saved. What don't you understand about that? Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Know that we love you. Know that we know that you're up in heaven. And please help us do a GoFundMe account for Charlie Kirk so that we can take care of his kids and remember him and keep Turning Point going strong for America. My name is Chris Sanders, president of Drill Baby Drill, Sanders Oil and Gas, Lone Star Gas Company, and we are fighting a war. And Charlie Kirk is the proof of it. This has been such a tough week in America. Glenn Beck's going to be on later on with the special. And as far as the people of us that care, if you want to know, redacted Clayton Morris, we got Steve Bannon, Glenn Beck, and there's other people, Tim Pool, but there's not a lot of us like Charlie Kirk that are bringing you the truth. And there's just a small handful of us, which makes us all targets. People like Russell Brand, people like Clayton and Natalie, people like myself. But you know what? It's called God and Country. It's called the Oath to the Constitution. And putting people that we love first. Amen. Calamity Jane and Wild Bill Hickok are up in that hill. Legends, just like Charlie.